Hi there. Welcome again to you and me and a baby doggy and altars. Part, I don't know. When I did that first video, I actually went through and started writing down more and more and more that I could talk about altars. So today, two things. You might want to pause this video and get your journal because I want to guide you through a little bit of an earth journaling piece. But first, I'm going to share what is on my earth altar. Now, you know that in my priestessing, I work with the elemental forces of creation in a pull apart and put together fashion. And when I say pull apart, I mean that when I first started training, we pulled apart the different elements in creation, looked at them individually, gained a connection with them individually, and then put them back together. And that's how I work, right? So in my process of working with earth, I started with an earth altar. Now, as I've said before, I have tons of stuff. Some things that have just come to me, some things that I've bought. I have this enormous collection. And honestly, my collection isn't as enormous as it could be because I do kind of tune into the things that are around me and in my altars, on my altars especially, and I ask, have you served your purpose in my life? Is it time to let you go? So a lot of the statues, a lot of the things that are still here are things that are still working with me and teaching me and guiding me. And there are other things that I have let go. Okay, so that's my caveat. So on my earth altar, and it's actually a very small altar in the corner of my room. When I first started out on my goddess journey, I started by learning about Athena, and this particular statue here is of Athena, and it's very special to me because I actually had the great privilege of being able to live in Italy, and this is one of the statues that I brought back from Italy with me. So it reminds me of my initial connection to goddess, my goddess journey as a younger person. I've been doing this for about almost 20 years now. So that just reminds me of the newness and the freshness and just the excitement that you have when you first start discovering something. That's what this statue is for me. It's excitement from my first discovering and honoring of the goddess. So right here, you might want to pause the video and journal with the question, what things remind you of the freshness and newness of discovery. And then once you journal with that, give yourself about a minute or two. You might even want to set a timer. That's the great thing about cell phones. They have timers on them. You might want to use a timer, give yourself a couple minutes, and then come back. So, hope you got some good insights. And then I have some very special little artifacts. This is a gift that was given to me when I emerged as a priestess. This is actually rocks from a sacred mountain that somebody had gone on, and she said that this is from in that area they look at one mountain as feminine and one mountain as masculine, and so these are a few little rocks from there. This statue, again, this is another Athena statue, but because I live close to Nashville, I went to the Nashville Parthenon. And even though it's just supposed to be like a replica of the Parthenon in Greece, I found that it has this very quiet, sacred energy to it. So it is an excellent place to go to connect with goddess, and to kind of tune into that vibration of the sacred and what the sacred can do and what the sacred is in divine feminine form. And then again, I've said that I try to work in balance, sacred feminine and sacred masculine in divine right relationship. The two of them being together, not replacing each other, but working together in co-creative harmony. That's how I work. So I've also got some, let me move him. I've got the green man, and this is actually an incense burner that I made a few years ago, and he's got a face here and a face here, and so it just depends on how I feel. His face is slightly different on either side. I enjoy him. And then I've got my little happy Buddha here with his belly all exposed, and I specifically again, this is another artifact from when I lived in Germany. I got to live in Italy and Germany. But this guy reminds me of celebration, the earth quality of celebration and of gratitude, and what it feels like to be in just wonder and awe. Let me see if I can shade him a little bit. You see how happy he is, little happy Buddha. He reminds me of what it is to be in wonder and awe of the natural world. And so even though these, I've got a lot more, and let me kind of, I want to talk about this beautiful African goddess statue with the Nyame symbol on her head. This was actually made in Ghana, and when I was able to take a DNA test and find out that my matrilineal DNA, my mother ancestors, all came from Ghana, and so this was kind of a representation of where my blood comes from, one aspect of where my blood comes from, and so I wanted to definitely have something honoring my mother blood. And then this beautiful statue was gifted to me by a dear friend. That's that Nile bird goddess, and I work with her. And I love how her arms are kind of outstretched, but I allow kind of when I work with statuary, I don't necessarily work just because of their ancient associations. I approach them from a position of, what are you trying to teach me as a priestess in this century? And I kind of journal with that first. So if you have already set up an altar, you might want to sit with all of the bits and bobs that you put on there, and just kind of ask them, just like you were having a conversation with me, like, hey, what is this you're trying to teach me? And you might want to journal with that too. What are you trying to teach me? So my earth altar, obviously, like I said, has expanded, and let me move. You can kind of see here that if the baby doggy would move, the baby doggy. This elephant statue was gifted to me, and interesting fact about elephants, you can trace their ancestry. They trace theirs through their mother line, which is interesting. And then I've got this goddess statue that has a bunch of rocks and just kind of earthy things. I made a mandala on top of this beautiful flat rock. I've got some gnomes over here and some rock spirits. Again, a tree god and a little pan here. And, more little rocks, more in crystals, all sorts of little bits and bobs. I got more crystals up here. I've got my cauldron that I got when I went to Hogwarts. Well, the wizarding world of Harry Potter anyway. Whoops. So That's just a brief tour, hello, of my earth altar. And I hope that it has given you some ideas of how to use your altar in journaling. And next week, I'll share my water altar and give you, oh, before, maybe I should write an outline for these so that way I'll remember. So, the primary power of earth is the power of standing on your own. That's the primary power of earth in the system that I use. So I invite you to journal with what are some of the ways that you need to stand on your own, to stand in your own power, especially again with the precarious times we find ourselves in. So, deep breaths. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you found this video helpful, or if you have any questions on how I use altars, or any questions on how to create altars, if you'd like any resources, leave a comment down below. And if you think this video was helpful, please subscribe, and please share this video with somebody else who you think would like this, because the more you help people find me, the more I am able to bring different videos and exciting content to you. I'm sending you much love. I will see you next week, and I will be probably doing some more altars, because I've got at least 4 more altars and 4 more different ways to, well, 4 more altars anyway. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.